Hi all, welcome you all to the lecture session on management and administration. In the previous video, we discussed about the management as science, our art, our profession. And we also discussed various principles of management, functional areas of management, scope of management, and how the management should be exerted to make the things the people to perform in order to focus on the outcome. So there are various management thinkers who define the management in different ways. We understood that Henry Fayol, Peter Drucker, and others like Kuntz, they have defined the management in different ways. The most important part of management is also the administration. Let's discuss in this video about the management and administration. Henry Fayol is considered to be the father of administrative management. He developed a theory that is applicable to the general and the higher managerial levels. This particular theory focused on the development of broad administrative principles. Fayol wrote that all activities of business enterprises could be divided into 6 groups. The 6 groups are technical, commercial, financial, accounting, security, administrative, and managerial. There is always a debate as to what is the difference between the administration and management. Basically, there are 3 views for this. Administration is broader than management. Management is broader than administration. Management and administration are identical. These 3 are the views that always exerts, and then that is always expressed by the people about, and there is a narrow difference or the major difference between the management and the administration have to be discussed. Let's consider one by one, thinking that the administration is broader than management. Let's discuss about this. When we say that the administration is broader than management, this view is proposed by many of the economists, and like William Sprague, Oliver Sheldon, and then the others. And they said that administration is a policy making function, which management is a policy realization function. According to Sprague, administration is largely determined and determinative, and management is essentially expressive and it is executive. And administrators think and then the management acts. So according to them, administration is at the higher level activity than the management. So administration is considered to be broader than the management. The theory can be considered consolidated like this. So if we consolidate the theory, as I have written here the diagram, administration part is bigger than the management. In the administration part, the top management comes, middle management, and then the lower management comes in the management. So when we consider this administration as broader than management, let us compare both of them in terms of this particular perspective. Administration is a process to determine the objective, whereas the management is a process of planning the work as per the objective. Administration formulates the policies and then the principles, whereas the management executes the policies and then the principles. Administration prepares the framework, whereas the management supervises and controls the assigned work. So now the administration provides the guidelines to the management and then the organization, whereas the management gathers the strength and freedom to execute the work under the guidelines and then the organization, under the guidelines that is given by the management and under the organization with respect to people and then the resources, and it executes. So management is broader than administration. Let's consider this. Henry Fayol, Kimball, and the other people like Kimball and they etc. They proposed that strongly that management is broader than management. According to this thought, management is rule making, enforcing, and all encompassing body. So if the management is broader than administration, then administration limits itself to execution of the policies framed by the management. So the third discussion says that management and then the administration are identical. William Newman, Dale, and Harold Kuntz proposed and echoes this kind of approach. They say that both of them are identical. They claim that there is hardly any difference between the management and then the administration. The basic functions like planning, organizing, So the basic functions like planning, organizing, commanding and controlling are carried out by both of them, like both management as well as the administration. So this avoids the conflict between the persons, and then it avoids the extra appointment to carry out the same kind of duties. So if we consider the principle of management and then the administration as identical, it avoids the extra costing to the management as well, because the same duty is done by both the people, like management as well as administrative people. So with this we will see that what is the role of the management. Here there are some management thinkers like Harry Mintzberg. They carried out a study on this role of management to understand why the management, what is the role of the management in the different kind of organization, and how the managers are expected to carry it out. They conducted the experiment or the study on 5 different organization managers to find out the roles of the management. So he found that the managers plays the different roles than what he is supposed to as per the theory of the management. The 10 different roles that the manager has to handle, or if we list all these 10 different roles, they are like this. The first one is the interpersonal role. Interpersonal roles is the one which is going to bring in the people together. So they might be under the interpersonal role. The managers could lead a role in terms of figurehead. Manager represents the organization formally and serves as a symbol of organization by attending the meetings, attending the luncheons, and provides he will be presiding over the functions and then receiving the dignitaries, etc. So he will be the figurehead, he will be the face of the company, and he is managing this kind of interpersonal role. And he will also be a leader who encourages and motivates the employees and channelizes them and make them to work efficiently to achieve the goals. He will be acting as a liaison officer. He connects outside world to inside world. He interacts with the people and establishes an external link and he makes the face of the company, and he establishes an external link with the company. And informational roles, it is, first one is the interpersonal role, and the second one is informational roles. When he becomes a monitor to a particular activity or to a particular group of people, he manages the role of a monitor. He monitors the day-to-day activity, and he solicits the day-to-day activity, he consolidates the day-to-day activity, and he receives the information from the various sources on matters connecting the organization. He will also act as a dissemination. He transmits the information within the organization. It might include the transfer of policy instructions from the top management to the lower level management. He acts as a spokesperson. He serves as the face or the speaker for the company or a concern, transmitting the information from inside to outside, maybe from the lower level management to the upper level management or the higher level management. It is the manager who has to work, who has to talk on behalf of the organization to the shareholders, stakeholders, government bodies, press, media, etc. So he handles the informational roles also, he handles the interpersonal roles also, he handles the decisional roles also. In the decisional roles, he acts as an entrepreneur, he initiates the project, he thinks innovatively, he encourages the new ideas, and the person brings in the change or manages it. The manager is also going to be handling the disturbances, so he is a disturbance handler also. Manager has to handle the risk, manager has to handle the conflicts, manager has to handle the fire works, and he has to handle all kind of disturbances that may occur due to accidents or labor strikes, bankruptcy, or supply chain problem or delivery problems, etc. So he will be acting, the manager will also be acting as a resource allocator, allocates the resources among the levels and then the areas to work smoothly and not to have any kind of time lag. The manager acts as a negotiator also. A manager negotiates the important matters, concerns of to the organization with the leaders, politicians, bureaucrats, and labor officials, clients, suppliers, customers, etc. So he acts as the negotiator also. These are the 10 different roles the manager handles, and the manager handles all these kind of activities, and the different levels of the management are to be discussed now. The term levels of the management. In the previous sessions, like in the previous discussions, we discussed about the different roles of the management, 10 different type of responsibilities the manager is going to handle. Let's see the different levels of the management, because in an organization there will be different levels of management which are referred to the line of demarcation between the various managerial positions in an organization. The number of the levels in the management increases when the business expands and then the workforce increases, and it also going to decrease when in a vice versa manner. So the levels of the management determines the chain of the command, the amount of authority, and then the status that is enjoyed by the people of any managerial positions. So the managers are not born, they are in fact made. The primary task of the managers is to get the work done by other people and from the team. There is a wide variation in their authorities and then the responsibilities. These differences are due to the different levels of managers. The levels of management can be classified broadly into three types of levels or three categories: top level, administrative level; middle level, executive level; low level, supervisory, operative, or the first line managers. The role of the managers at all the levels are going to be different in terms of roles and responsibilities. So depending on the size of the business, many of the organization may expand the middle level management to the upper level management, upper middle level management as well, and lower middle level management. So if you see this particular diagram, you can understand that the top level managers are nothing but the executive managers, or the executive coaching, and then the change management and the leadership, and then the delegation, and these are the functions that the top managers handle, and then they have the ownership. And the middle level managers have to go for the problem solving, and then the team development, and then the talent development, and also peer development, and the talent building, and also the managerial efforts, and then they have to manage the people. And then the lower level management deals with the emotional intelligence and coaching for performers, and then the supervisors, first line managers, etc. So the levels of the management can well be explained with the role of different levels of management in the broader sense. So although all the managers perform the same functions of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling, there are levels among them. So if we see the different levels of managers, the same planning and organizing and then the directing and controlling is exerted in different ways. For the top level management, this planning, organizing, directing, and controlling are executed in a different way. And the top level management consists of the board directors, chief executive officers, and then the managing directors. The top management is the ultimate source of authority, and it manages the goals and objectives of an enterprise. It devotes major time or the more time on the planning and coordination. And if we write a diagram, top level management is at the pinnacle, and then the middle level management comes next, and which is going to be the mid of the pyramid, and then the lower management start at the base. So the top management people have to possess the conceptual and then the design skills. Middle level management people should possess the human skills. Lower level management people should possess the technical skills. So these are the skills at the different level which we have discussed, and then which is written here. So role of the top level management can be summarized with respect to the points which we have discussed. They lay down the policies and objectives. They issue the necessary instructions for the preparation of department budgets, procedures, etc. It prepares the strategic plans and policies for the enterprise. The top level management appoints middle level management. Top level management controls and coordinates the activities of all the departments. They are responsible for maintaining the publicity of the enterprise, and the top level management provides the guidance and the preparation, and they hold the responsibility towards the shareholders. So what is it middle level management is going to do? Middle level management is a very vast and then the diverse group of people, and it includes the finance manager, sales manager, personnel manager, department heads, branch managers, etc., depending on the size of the business. The roles of the middle level management are the branch managers and then the departmental managers constitute the middle level managers, and they are responsible to the top management for the functioning. So the middle level managers, they devote more time to the organizational and directional functions. The roles are executing the plans that are formulated by the top level management, make the plans for the subunits of the organization. Basically it goes with the secondary plans, and participate in the training of the lower level management, training them with respect to the technology and the machineries and that are involved. They interpret the policies from the top level management to the lower level management. They also sends the important data and reports to the top management, and vice versa. They evaluate the performance of the junior managers. They are also responsible for inspiring the low level management towards a better performance. So it involves the time management, it involves the human resource management, it also it also invests in proper communication, it also includes the coordination of the team, and the temperament management, and then the human skills management. So the lower level management is also known as the supervisory or operative level of management. It includes the first line managers also. It consists of supervisors, foreman, section officers, superintendent, etc. And they are also concerned about the directing and controlling. Their activities are assigning the jobs and then the tasks to the various workers on the daily basis. They guide and instruct the workers day-to-day activities. They are also responsible for the quality. They are also responsible for the quantity of deliveries and then the production, and they are also responsible for maintaining a good relationship in the organization. They are responsible for the maintenance. They are also communicative. They are also responsible for the communication among the workers. They should be communicative with respect to communicating the workers' problem to the middle level managers, and they should also provide the suggestions and the recommendations, and they should appeal to the top management. And they should also help to solve the grievances of the workers. They should supervise and guide the subcoordinates. Lower level management provides the training to the workers. Lower level management also arranges the necessary materials, machines, tools, etc. And lower level management people, or the supervisors or the superintendents prepare the periodical reports about the performance of the workers. So they also ensure the discipline in the organization. They also motivate the workers. They are also the image builders of the enterprise, and they also are in the direct contact with the workers. So the managerial skills is nothing but the skill of an individual ability to translate the knowledge and into action. Hence the individual's performance is also related to the managerial skills. With this we are going to discuss about the different level of skills that is required to a manager in the next session. Thank you.